Friends, I just have one thing to say to ye. Well, I'm back here continuing my preparation for The Northman by watching Robert Eggers' second film today, The Lighthouse, and I obviously loved The Witch the second time around, just watching it recently with you all, and so I'm hoping a similar thing happens with The Lighthouse, because I did get to see this one in theaters, which was great. Obviously, after having seen The Witch, I wanted to see what he did next on the big screen, and while I absolutely loved all of the technical aspects in that film, pretty much flawless across the board, from the visuals to the acting to everything like that, I was a bit iffy on the overall story and the experience of it all, and so I'm hoping now, knowing what to expect, I can get a little bit more out of it, maybe understand some things better than the first time I watched it. But even if my opinion on that side of things doesn't change too much on my second watch here, there's still so much to love about this that I'm excited to revisit. Not necessarily Willem Dafoe's farts in the movie, because that was probably the thing that distracted me the most when I watched it, but we'll see how I take it this time. But hopefully you all enjoy watching along with me for this one. If you do, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up, helps the video out, and of course the full-length reaction for this and The Witch are available on Patreon, the link for that in the description below. But without further ado, let's get into The Lighthouse. Those foghorns in the theater with theater speakers were definitely something else. That was one of the coolest parts of the film. What an ominous opening. I hate oceans and just open sea as it is. I would be in hell just being on an island in the middle of all of it. And from memory, I feel like what he does with the cinematography in this is very similar to what I talked about during The Witch, that it's a lot of locked off angles until certain aspects or certain scenes. Such a fantastic frame. The composition in this is unreal. And I don't know if he intentionally did this, but I like that once we cut to that shot of just them, all the sounds stop, pretty much just accentuating the fact that it's just them and the world. They're completely alone. Oh. I don't know if I thought of it before, but it kind of just struck me right now. But I wonder if he did the aspect ratio, not just because it's somewhat of a period type piece, but also just to reflect the claustrophobia that they probably experience here. Oh my gosh, there it is. I forgot we got one so early. Gotta keep a running tally of how many there are. I forgot that's where he found it. Shoot, because this is his bed, right? Whoever was there before him slept there. Oh, so chilling. There's been foghorns in movies before, but I don't know if I've ever heard one quite as effective as in this movie.
Should pale death with treble dread make the ocean caves our bed? To 4 weeks. Bad luck to leave a toast unfinished, lad.
There's a lot of bad luck you can get during this movie that he brings up. I love that we just jump straight into 4 weeks ahead, though. It doesn't feel like any time has passed. It all blends together.
Well, I ain't trying for trouble.
Then you do as I say. That's in your book, too.
The lighting is just unreal, man. Throughout this film, he nails it.
To 4 weeks.
The sister needs a looking to.
He is so great. I was waiting for something to happen. I couldn't remember what happened, but his sly little smile tipped me off.
Well, more to be mended outside. You hear me, lad?
Yes, sir.
Aye, sir.
Aye, sir.
Just the absolute worst roommate, and it's only been 4 weeks. Still blows my mind, if I remember correctly, that he didn't even get nominated for this, Willem Dafoe. From all the films I saw that year, I felt he should have won, let alone just be nominated.
See to your duties. The light is mine.
Those shots are so cool, though, just showing how alone they are out there. There's nothing as far as the eye can see. It might be another reason he lights certain scenes the way he does, just to reflect kind of the allure of the lighthouse in the middle of all that darkness. Because like on the table there, it was just the one lantern and it's dark all around him, so obviously you want to gravitate towards that. It's the only source of life you have. Obviously, it's a representative of the time period as well. They don't really have electricity. What a cool shot, man. It does look really excellent, the lighthouse visuals. I can see why he likes going up there.
To ye, a beauty.
Oh, the soundtrack's so cool. I love his look right there, just so mesmerized. Can't remember if I ever found out if the lighthouse, the light itself, represents anything specific. There may not be anything specific. Dude, these shots are unreal. I will say, just from this first little bit, it's even better than I remember. It just creates such cool atmosphere. Dude, the visuals are so trippy, complemented by that brilliant soundtrack. So insane. I still get chills even though I kind of know what to expect. Oh, the editing of this as well, so perfectly done. That scream sound, whatever it is nightmare inducing. It transitions it into the freaking horn, my gosh. There we go, already 2 of them. Oh, what the heck? This is moving way faster than I remembered, because that shot in particular I thought happened way late in the film. The dreaded goal is their first beef right here.
More.
Captures the annoyance of those things very well. Gotta remember, it's bad luck to kill a seabird, though. Another thing I really love about this that I guess I kind of forgot is how silent the movie is as far as dialogue goes. We've only really had one conversation. Visual storytelling's always my favorite.
You don't go in there.
Oils.
Tired? Use this next time. Catch your breath, lad.
Love how mysterious they make his character early on. Doesn't seem much like DeFriend right now, more Defoe.
God who hears the surge's roll, deign to save the suppliant soul. I'll find some chark in ye, lad. Now's the time for gab and chatter.
This writing is so good. It's a little bit more comedic, or it comes off a little bit more funny to me than The Witch, but I love it just as much.
We were on the brakes. A mutiny it were. Why? Ask you why. Boredom makes men to villains, and the water goes quick, lad.
This entire movie could just be Willem Dafoe monologues, and I would eat it up. The man is so gifted.
Keeps them calm, keeps them
Stupid.
If there ain't an old tar spirit somewheres in you, lad.
What made your last keeper leave?
Died. Went mad, he did.
Just the circle of life on this island, it seems. I'm curious, knowing the whole story now, if it really was him that killed him.
Salvation, said he.
Tall tales.
Looked a bit personally offended that he laughed at that story right there. Maybe he was mixing some of his story in there.
Bad luck to kill a seabird.
There's the line.
More tall tales.
Bad luck to kill a seabird.
Oh man, the lighting is perfect. That shadow is tremendous. Outburst came out of nowhere, startled me the first time I saw this.
Long night ahead. Drop of coffee will do us good.
This is like the dark version of Wes Anderson filmmaking where every shot is so bleak and bland, but it all looks amazing. What a great cut. I would feel so uncomfortable being on the same island as that guy if I saw that. Which up to this point, I don't know if they've specifically said the characters' names, right? Which I think adds a cool element to it.
What do you call that?
I mopped and swept twice over.
You lying dog.
I swept them.
Tis begrimed and bedabbled. Unwiped, unwashed, and disdained.
Dude is a walking dictionary. Got an adjective for everything. Got 10 for everything.
I ain't never intended to be no housewife nor slave in taking this job.
The Queen of England's old fancy housekeeper couldn't even done no better than what I done. I scrubbed this here place.
You did nothing of the sort.
As good as Willem Dafoe is, Robert Pattinson keeps up with him the whole time.
If I tells you to yank out every single nail till all them nails sparkle like a sperm whale's pecker, you'll do it smiling, lad, 'cause you like it.
Just incredible acting powerhouses. Feels like Eggers just time traveled back to this period, lived 100 years, and then came back so he could write the script. Love moments like that, man. It's just a complete blast from the past to how they used to do scenes. You can tell a whole story just hanging there with the music.
Easy! Quit your flailing, lad!
Oh gosh, I'd forgotten about that. Shoot, love how it just cuts off completely. Dude is having the worst time. If there's not a bird going to town on somebody, as in like biting the crap out of him in the Northman, I'm gonna be upset because that seems to be a theme with his films as well.
What were you working for?
Timber.
I hear and tell about that life. Work one man harder than two us, as they say. No, thank you.
He says that, but he's basically working him the same amount here, if not worse. Dude's the worst taskmaster.
Now, I'm a wiki, and a wiki I is. And I'm damn well wedded to this here light. And she's been a finer, truer wife than any alive-blooded woman.
I think he means that pretty dang literally. I don't know if it's consensual with the light.
Since we're getting too friendly, tell me, what's a timberman want with being a wiki?
I love the way he says that line so much. That's used in the trailer, if I remember correctly, which I did watch several times after seeing the movie.
I done every kind of work that can pay a man. Some I ain't near proud of.
Drifter, eh?
I ain't the kind to look back what's behind him, see?
On the run.
He figures it out pretty quick. He is smart. Been through it all.
Sometime soon I'll raise my own roof. Somewhere up country. No one to tell me what for. And that's all.
Same old boring story, eh?
Doesn't really buy it. I think around this time, wasn't it that he was announced as being the new Batman, Robert Pattinson? And having seen this movie in the theaters, I was all on board for that casting. I was not prepared for that edit. I was about to say, I am very curious where he came up for this idea or how he came up with it, because it is very obscure and strange. You don't want to stand too close under it, man. So nasty. Man unloaded a gallon. Dude, that would be so uncomfy to watch. Dude, I love those crescendo moments, just cutting to silence right after. I think I'd forgotten about that shot. Can't remember if he dreams that, if that's what it was, or if there was a legit tentacle, because I don't know how to make sense of that. Oh, that poor bird. I feel bad for it. Got a tough choice to make. Save the bird or go down a dark path. So rough, man. I remember him just going to town on that bird and keeping it all in frame. So brutal, just annihilated that thing. I think he remembered after it was too late that it was bad luck to do that.
Forward slow. Look at him. Better than fin fishing.
Oh, is this the drunken singing night right here? One of my favorite parts of the film. Just giving into madness.
Oh, homeward bound. Oh, we're homeward bound. Them bloomers coming out in flocks, them pretty girls.
Such a great part, man. They both nail it here. Now it reminds me of the Charlie Kelly scene from season 15.
All them nuns were Catholics, I tell you. Might even miss you. Ephraim Winslow. True blue wiki in the making you is.
That is the last thing you want to hear from him, because it means you're going to get stuck here for the long haul.
Why haven't I?
What? The light.
Very touchy subject, obviously. Don't speak about his wife that way.
I'll never let no man touch it. Don't concern yourself with the bacon, lad. Mine.
So many mood swings in so short a time. Love that we just hang out with him for a bit, though.
I don't know your name.
Wake.
Your Christian name.
Thomas.
Thomas?
Aye, Thomas Wake.
Took so long into the film to get that, but it's worth the wait. I wonder if either of their names have any special significance. With Robert Eggers, I could see it. He is going to be in for a rude awakening. They slept through it. Intentionally or not, the suspicion starts. And I guess when I was thinking of the drunken singing and whatnot, I think part of what I was remembering comes later when they start getting into the oil or whatever they have running the machine. Just disgusting living conditions to have to sleep next to that. I unfortunately remember this part right here, very unpleasant. As if it could get any worse. Just throw yourself into the ocean at that point. Oh, is this when he discovers the washed up mermaid? Such incredible imagery. I love that we just go straight to only the soundtrack. Makes it more creepy. So freaky, man. I hate that. And you know that your pal's not believing you.
What are you splitting your lungs for? Let's swab this mess before the tender comes.
Man, you can't really tell him. I don't think Thomas is interested in mermaids anymore anyway. Just prefers big lights. I am really curious how they made certain shots like that happen with the water and the wind just being so aggressive. Also, my goodness, what a frame right there. That's incredible. Didn't remember that. Because it must have taken like a massive setup in order to achieve that look.
The dead spots of the foodstuffs.
Where's B?
You hear me now? Then we best be rationing.
It's only been one day.
I like something like that where they mention that a day has passed, but earlier...
It's been weeks ago since we missed our Winslow, and I've been asking you to ration for weeks now too, but you kept barking at me like a mad dog.
Oh, I forgot they introduced some psychological stuff like that. They tricked me again because I was just about to mention how the day passing felt just the same as the weeks passing before. Oh shoot, he's got some secret stash out here. Surely has to be drinks, right? Food would go bad.
Rations. The worst of us couldn't fend against the shipwreck.
How long could you sustain yourself on just that, though? You would go mad, which obviously is the case.
Foreman Winslow, goddamn candy bastard.
Winslow's always calling me a dog.
I'll serve you as a dog.
Winslow.
Oh, he just picked up on that, used a fake name. At least that's what I think is happening here.
What?
What?
What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What?
I love it, just so crazy. They have hit their breaking point.
No! I want a steak! A goddamn steak!
If I had a steak.
Oh, here we go. He's about to make a grave mistake. Insult this man's cooking. You unlock his full wrath.
You don't like me cooking?
Oh, don't be such an old.
You're fond of me lobster, ain't you?
A ginny fence.
I seen it. You're fond of me lobster.
This whole conversation is brilliant. How could you hate on the man's lobster?
Let Neptune strike ye dead, Winslow! Hark! Triton, hark! Bid our father the Sea King!
Just acting perfection, man. So excellent with the sound design. The worst curse.
Engorging your organs till ye turn blue, his coral tine trident plunges right through your gullet!
He looks so frightening with that lighting. That'd be scary listening to this if you were sober. Being drunk would be a whole nother story.
Nanny scantling of your soul is Winslow no more, but is now itself the sea.
What a performance, dude. That alone should have gotten him nominated.
All right, have it your way. I like your cooking.
Such an iconic scene right there. If that didn't convince you to say you liked it, I don't know what would. They do so much without saying anything, both of their performances. Just incredible acting with his eyes here. Slowly going more and more mad. I feel like the way he films this movie and everything kind of makes you go mad as an audience member as well. You're just begging for some sort of release or change in scenery.
Sun is over the yardarm. Best find some winks before the day draws farther on.
Oh my gosh, dude, there it is, number 3. I don't know if you just included those to make the audience as annoyed with his character as Winslow gets. Dang, I'd forgotten about that shot. That was pretty cool. He's absolutely losing his mind. Oh man, that shot was uncomfortable. I didn't remember that. Is the guy with the blonde hair the one that he killed, if I'm remembering correctly? That scream is fantastic. I love that you can barely tell what's going on in that sequence. So much more effective. And saying... Yo, this editing is top tier. I forgot about that head, man. That startled me. This sequence is excellent, man. You're just along for the ride with the characters in a descent downwards, losing a piece of your mind with each cut.
Dance, Winslow! Dance!
Come on, you boys, do what do here? How we got to the woods last year?
I don't know if I've ever seen such chaotic energy portrayed so well. So good.
If not the bird.
This could easily be happening over a few minutes or a few weeks, who knows? Now they switch moods again. I love it. Gone through every freaking emotion possible.
I'm Thomas. You're Ephraim.
I lied.
I'll be Scuppered.
Tom Howard.
There you go. The real truth starting to come out.
Shut up your own rag box. I trust you.
No. Well, I don't trust you at all.
I think that's the right approach to take. I wouldn't trust him either. I like how the ticking clock has gotten louder over the conversation.
And I had him handy and helpless, too far downstream. I wanted to do him in, seeing the back of his head.
There you go. Answers for certain if you didn't get it yet, who he was seeing in that montage before.
I was lead tired, I admit it. I stood and he slipped. He shouted up and I just stood there. Tom, you dog.
So heavy, man. If you are Thomas, that would kind of make you distrusting of him as well. Kind of flips the script.
Tom?
Why'd you spill your beans, Tommy?
So many chills. I did not remember that scene, so I was freaking on edge. I thought there was going to be something really jumpy. Eggers knows how to manipulate an audience.
Why'd you spill your beans?
Such trippy filmmaking, dude. I don't know how he comes up with all of this. Feels like something that Kubrick would make almost. So cool. I do remember that shot. So much of this is just unexplainable, but I think that's the point.
Don't leave me!
Oh, just the worst, dude. Coming up, I think, is my favorite shot of the film, though. There it is, that one right there, just perfection. And I mentioned Kubrick before, partly because of that. Feels like it was ripped straight from The Shining deleted scenes or something.
I report ye. I report you! I know what you done. You killed your second. I found him in the lobster pot.
That line delivery is fantastic. I'd forgotten that that was what the reveal was.
And I'm free from your designs. Now I got it all figured out. Except what's the secret mischief you're keeping? Up there!
This monologue is just as good as Defoe's. Crazy that he wasn't nominated either.
I knew you was mad when you smashed up that lifeboat just now and chasing me with an axe. Don't you trust me, Tommy?
So wild. You never really know what to believe because both of them are kind of untrustworthy at this point from a mental aspect.
How long have we been on this rock? 5 weeks? 2 days? Help me to recollect. I'm probably a figment of your imagination.
This is so crazy because it all could be true. I forgot how psychological it got, but I love it.
We're out of drink.
Oh, geez, here we go. The final descent, just the pinnacle of desperation they've reached. So amazing. I don't know if there are two actors who've given crazy performances quite at this level. They fully go to that place. I mean, with the Shining comparisons I gave before, Jack Nicholson certainly does that. I love that we don't see what's in the book, just his reaction. That's enough to send some shivers down your spine. I honestly do not remember what's in there as well. Oh gosh, man, just ruined your hand by doing that. Clearly read something upsetting.
I'm tired of your damn fool yarns. You sound like a goddamn parody.
You damn.
I ain't finished yet!
Such incredible acting. I love it. About time he went off on him.
You ain't the president, and you ain't my father!
Stick your laugh in your
Goddamn farts! Goddamn farts!
Forgot he called it out specifically. That's incredible. It's not only us it's affecting.
work below. Assistant missing. Drunk on duty. Assault. Recommend severance without pay.
Oh man, just ruining his life, even though he's guilty of just as many things, if not more.
I'm a hard worker. I am. Just let me into the light, old man. Just let me show you another chance. Just let me into that lantern, is all.
I love how his whole persona has basically drastically changed over the course of the film, done a 180 from how he acted in the beginning.
Keep it all to yourself. You left your orderly. Your children. For what?
Look at ye, handsome lad with eyes bright as a lady.
Oh, he knows he's fully in control of this situation. He's got his mind wrapped around his finger.
'Twas ye what damned us, dog. 'Twas ye. For Winslow were right. You're a dog. A dog!
Just amazing, man. I don't know how many other acting performances have topped these in recent years. Incredible just to watch it escalate. Oh man, so trippy the way it does that. Just going through the whole process again. These visuals are on another level, man. Just crazy personified. Man, how do you even write something like that down in a script? It seems far too abstract to communicate it.
Bark, I says, bark! Bark, laddie!
Who's a good boy?
Bro, so wild. They really had to commit to these roles because some of it would come across as silly if they didn't nail it. Jeez, man, I guess Thomas should have been a bit nicer to him throughout their time here. When you get to a certain point in the film, though, everything becomes rather ambiguous because who knows if everything he was reading in the book was accurate or if it was just his mind playing tricks.
You wish to see what's in the lantern?
Now he drops it at the last second, his final hope for saving. Can't believe how long that shot lasted.
Casting them down. Still blind, yet in it. See the divine gracious.
This scene is just as hard to watch the second time. I don't know how he did this acting wise. That would be so awful, even if it's not actual dirt, just to get that in your eyes and your mouth. Such commitment.
You'll be punished.
What a frame. Dude just became one with the earth right there. If I remember right, though, we haven't seen the last of Thomas.
Belongs to me!
Just unreal as far as horror goes. That's such a great scene. The music was perfect. I love the little hint, if you're paying attention, that the axe is gone from the table. It's a valiant effort by Thomas. He got one good hit in there. When I first saw that in the theater and didn't know what was coming, though, I jumped when that happened. I think part of the reason I felt the way about the story after watching it the first time was the film's intention, which is to make you feel like you've gone kind of mad. And so I think it definitely achieves that although it does kind of come with some negative aspects because you don't feel like you've necessarily enjoyed yourself while watching it. What fantastic imagery finally coming up here, seeing the light, but also just his face covered. That is one broken man. Man, this scene is amazing. As far as the visuals go, there are so many aspects of this that feel like an homage to Kubrick's style. I remember this part of the film very well. Definitely very confusing at the time, and still is. Oh my gosh, bro, everything about that is so well done from a technical aspect. The sound design was sublime, the way his screams are so muted, and the soundtrack was overwhelming, and obviously his acting is elite. Man, so disgusting, even more gross than I remember. Seagulls finally got their revenge. What a way to end the film, man. Just insane. Robert Eggers is a phenomenal filmmaker. There's no doubt about that. I don't know if I necessarily paid attention to it the first time I saw it, but he's nowhere near the lighthouse in that shot. Doesn't even look like a familiar part of the island per se. So either somehow he crawled his way out to there, or some of the stuff that Thomas was saying before was accurate, and that so much of it was a figment of his imagination. And I don't know if Robert Eggers has come out with a specific answer for a lot of things, or if he left it kind of up to your interpretation, which there's certainly a lot of ways you can interpret it. As far as the last lighthouse shot goes, with him looking into it, I feel like there's a couple ways that you can look at it. One, I don't know if I thought of the first time around, but I thought of this time, is maybe his screams and everything is just him realizing he was so obsessed with it, and he goes up there and it's just a regular lighthouse, and he's upset that he did all of that, lost his mind because of that. Although that answer feels somewhat simplified to what it could be. Could just be in line with all the other hallucinations, and once you're on that island for a certain amount of time, the lighthouse evolves into this deity almost, this holy presence that you worship pretty much. But maybe it's the warmth that the light gives on such a cold, dreary island that feels so euphoric. I don't know. There's so many ways that you can look at it. Even if it's not a direct answer by Robert Eggers, I'm sure there's some kind of widely accepted theories about it. And so I'm looking forward to all of your comments. Hey, that's really cool. I didn't remember if they did the same thing with The Witch, how he took a lot of lines from actual documents, but that makes perfect sense because all the writing feels like it was ripped straight from that time period. But certainly everything I loved the first time around, I think I loved even more this time. Just so much to appreciate. So the credits just immediately ended, and I got another thought about what a possible meaning could be from it all. And obviously I haven't looked up anything, so I don't know if this is correct, incorrect. I may just be speaking gibberish right now, but what if the island is kind of symbolic or a metaphor for just some purgatory that Winslow/Tommy is stuck in, and that's why time passes and it's not really easy to tell how long it's been or how much time has passed, and it just gets worse and worse the longer he's there with all these strange things happening and these hallucinations. And the light and the lighthouse represents like the release or getting let out of purgatory and entering heaven or something like that. I don't know, some sort of afterlife that's better, and he's just there as payment for the sins he committed before of letting that other person die and just any other mistakes he made, which could lead to two two other interpretations on what the ending means. One is that he gets up to the light and he is just overwhelmed by it, and then the last shot is just some unrelated thing of him getting eaten before everything happens or something. I'm not sure, but then also it could just be the light or the afterlife or something rejecting him if you go along with that hypothesis, and that's why he gets thrown back down to the bottom of the lighthouse. I'm not sure, that could be incorrect. The idea just formed, so it's not fully developed as a theory yet. But again, really looking forward to what you all have to say about the story and everything like that. And even if it's not one that you can easily understand or whatnot, certainly gets you talking and provokes a lot of interesting discussions. So I always enjoy when films do that. And so I think going into The Lighthouse this time, the second time around, I was able to appreciate a lot of things more and just the overall flow and whatnot, because I knew what to expect the first time I watched it. And you get to the end, you're kind of like, what the heck did I just watch? Is that really all we were working towards? And it kind of feels somewhat unfulfilling, I guess, after the first time. But this time around, it's already digested and I know what's coming, so I'm not waiting for anything specific. I think that helped my enjoyment and appreciation a little bit. Visually, it is so stunning throughout, and I think the decision to do black and white throughout the film was just genius, as well as the aspect ratio for some of the things I mentioned early on, but just I think it matches the tone and the period so perfectly. It's kind of hard to believe in a way that this was another Robert Eggers film when comparing it to The Witch, because it's really different in style and tone, and there's some things that are consistent across his style between the two, but overall I think he just really shows his range and various capabilities with this film after The Witch. So I cannot wait to see his stylistic choices for The Northman, because I feel like that's going to be an extremely different story than these first two, and so he certainly doesn't confine himself to one genre. Even though both The Witch and The Lighthouse are kind of horror, they are very different and don't even fit the typical horror tropes or anything like that. This one I wouldn't even call a horror per se. It's got a couple scary, creepy imagery type things, but overall it's more kind of a psychological thriller. I don't even remember if it was marketed as a horror, but he is such a gifted filmmaker. Can't wait to see The Northman, obviously, but from then on to see what he comes up with next, I'm so excited for. But I feel like I've said all that I would like to about the film at this point. I feel like anything else that I would add at this point would just be repetitive of things that I said while watching it. But hopefully you enjoyed watching along with me for this one, and let me know if you would like me to continue doing commentaries as well. I had a really good time rewatching both The Witch and now The Lighthouse, and so there's plenty of other films that I would like to rewatch as well, both ones that I haven't seen in a while, don't remember too much about, and ones that I love as well that I would love to talk about for the channel. But if you did enjoy, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up, really helps the video out. And of course the full-length reaction is available on Patreon, link for that in the description below. But until the next video,